Hi, welcome back to English class with Christine. How are you today? Great. Here I'm feeling happy, especially to see you again, and I'm really excited to learn together with you today. Well, let's see what we have here. Today, we have a quiz time, and then we will learn something new about quantifiers. Well, so this quiz is specially made for you to review your understanding about the prepositions of place that we have learned before. All right, let's take the quiz to check your understanding. Well, as I told you before in the beginning, we are going to learn about quantifiers. But before we move to the deeper explanation, I want to ask you something. What do you know about some, any, a little, and a few? What do you know? Some and any, a little, and a few? And give me some examples. How do you use some in your sentence? All right, what about Annie? Good example. And let's check. Do you know what is a little, a few, and maybe you want to give me some examples how to use a little and a few in your sentences. All right, a good try, nice try. Now let's move to another questions for you. What are they for? Some, any, a little, and a few. What are they for, in your opinion? I want you to answer me with a sentence. I think I can use some or any to show blank, blank, blank. Or you want to tell me, in my opinion, a little or a few can be used for blank, blank, blank. Let's see this one. I want you to answer true or false for the using of some, any, a little, or a few in these sentences. I have five sentences and I have put the any, some, a little, and a few in that sentences. I want you to check by yourself. Is it true or false? Let's begin with number one. We ate any bread and butter. Do you think is it true or false? Now we move to second sentence. Here we have a question. Do you have some children? Do you have some children? Do you think this sentence or the using of some in this sentence is true or false? All right, lock your answer. Move to the next sentence. Number three, we have another question here. Could you please read it for me? Yeah, would you like some tea? We have some again here. Yeah, would you like some tea? Do you think this sentence is true or false? What about number four? I have a little money. Oh, it's easy for you. So you think that this sentence is true. I have a little money. Okay. Number five. I have a few good friends. What do you think? The using of a few here. Is it true or false? I want to know more. In your opinion, is it correct if we exchange number four and number five? Like, I have a few money and I have a little good friends. Yeah. What do you think? Can we replace a little in number four with a few and replace a few in number five with a little? So please remember your answer. I will not tell you the true answers now because we will take together after or at the end of this lesson, are your answers true or false? Well, let's define what are quantifiers. We use quantifiers when we want to give someone information about the number of something, like how many or how much of something there is. You want to ask yourself, or maybe you want to ask somebody about the thing, the objects that they have, especially about the number, the amount of that thing. Okay, so quantifiers, some, any, a little, and a few, are used to give information about the amount or the number of something, how many or how much something there is. Now, the next question is, what is the difference between them? We will start from some and any first. First, we're going to discuss about some. Sum refers to unspecified number or amount of a particular entity or things. Alright? Sum refers to unspecified number or amount. It means we do not know exactly the number or the amount of the things, the objects that we're talking about. And when we use some in a sentence, we mean a few people or things, but not all the people or things. Let's see the picture on the left side of the explanation. Well, in that environment, in that circle, there are some dots with different colors. There are oranges, there are pink dots, there are blue dots. Well, when we want to say unspecified number or amount of some or a specific color of the dots, yeah, not all of the dots here within the circle, we use some. For example, I'm looking at some blue dots. Well, we're not talking about all the dots, but we're talking only the blue ones. So, from all of the dots, we're only talking about some dots, and they are blue in the blue color. Okay, we don't count how many dots, blue dots here. So we just use some to say, yes, there are some dots in blue color. And then there are some dots in pink colors. From all of the dots, there are some pinks, there are some blues, and so on. So some only a part of the whole group. Is it clear for you? Good. Okay, I want you to give me example, a sentence with some to state about the pink colors of dots. Okay, your turn. A statement about the pink dots. Good. You're looking at some pink dots. Your turn. Good. I have some pink dots in the circle. Very good. Okay, some is clear for you. Now, what about any? Yeah. Conversely, any means one or more of something without indicating the number or amount of it exactly. Okay. With some, we refer to unspecified number or amount, but we're talking about there are some amount in that particular things that we are talking about. But with any, we refer to something, but without indicating the number or amount of it exactly. For example, in this picture on your right side, any. Let's create a sentence with any, and the objects apples. Yeah, I will give you example. There are not any apples in the cabinet. There are not any apples in the cabinet. See, there are not any apples there. Well, we're not talking about the amount, we're not talking about the number of that things. Yeah, but we just simply say there are not any apples there. It can be nothing. So we use some to refer to unspecified number or amount of things apart from a whole group. But any, we don't indicate the number or amount of it exactly. Now we will learn how to use some and any. We usually sum in affirmative sentences and any in negative sentences and questions. Yes. Okay, so we can use some in affirmative or positive sentences, or it means they are statements, and we can use any in negative or questions or interrogatives. All right, we have some examples here. Number one, there are some traffic lights at the end of the road. Is this sentence a positive sentence or affirmative or a negative sentence? Yes, you're correct. This one is affirmative sentence. There are some traffic lights at the end of the road. How do we know? Yes, there are no question marks and there is no not or the negation here. There is no negation here. Good. Let's move to number two. Please read it for me. Yes, there's some pasta on the table. There's some pasta on the table. Is this sentence the same or similar to number one? Yes, you're correct. This one is affirmative sentence too. Yeah, this one is positive statement. So we use some, like in number one and number two, for affirmative or positive sentences. Number three, the dog doesn't want any biscuits. The dog doesn't want any biscuits. Could you please tell me why we use any here? Yes, because the sentence is negative. Good. What about number four? They haven't got any money. Why? We also use any here. Perfect, you know it, because this one is also a negative sentence. We have doesn't on number three and we have haven't on number four. Right. Number five, are there any cinemas in your town? Are there any cinemas in your town? Do you agree? This sentence use any because this is a question. Yes, correct. Yeah, this one is a question, so we need to use any instead of some. And what about number six? Do you need any help? Yes, it's similar to number five, miss. Good. This is a question, so you need to use any. All right. Do you have any question? Do you have any questions? I use any in my question to you because it is a question. So, do you have any question about a definition, the difference, or maybe the using of some and any in sentences? Okay, so you got it? You understand it. Now, I want to move to another thing. I have a special note here for the use of some. We usually use some when we offer or ask for something. The first example here. Would you like some tea? But because this is an offer, we can use some. So, can I borrow some money? Can I borrow some money is a question to ask for something. Can I borrow money? Right. And the last example is I would like some apples, please. I would like some apples, please. Well, this one is the answer from an offer, just like in the first example. Would you like some tea? So if you have question like would you like some apples? Yeah, you can answer by I would like some apples, please. All right, the third sentence, the third example is not difficult because this one is not a question, but the type of this sentence is yes, this is an affirmative sentence, a statement. Yes, so it's legal to use some in this sentence. So this is an exception. You can use some in question if you offer or ask for something. Well, let's do this quiz. Please fill in the blanks with some or any. You choose. You want to use some or any. Let's start with number one. I need blank blank fresh air. How do you answer this statement? Which one do you want to use? Some or any? Well, first you need to identify what type of the sentence is. Is this positive or affirmative sentence? Is this negative or is this yes question? What is this? Good. This one is a statement, a positive sentence. So, which one do you prefer to use? Some or any? Good. I need some fresh air. Good. What about number two? There is not blank blank traffic on the road. Good. There is not any traffic on the road. What about number three? Are there blank blank fields near your school? Oops, not some. Be careful. What type of sentence is this? Yes, this is a question, so you need to use are there any fields near your school? Perfect. Now you know. All right, number four. Have you got blank blank homework? Yes, this one is similar to number three. This one is a question, so you need to use any. Perfect. What about number five? I'm going out with some friends. Good. What about number six? We haven't got. We haven't got. Are you sure this one is some? Yes, Annie. True. Why do you think you should answer with Annie? Because, yes, this one is negative. How do you know that this sentence is negative? From? Yeah, have not. Good. Not here shows us that the sentence is negative. Okay. Now your turn. Give me your own examples. Give me your own examples about the use of some and any. Good. I want you to read it again, your sentence. Well, she has some bottles. Ryan has some pillows. I have some bags. Good. Number four, I have some questions. Good. Number five, ladies has some pictures. Okay. So, all of you, do you agree that these five examples are correct for the use of some? Yes, good. What about on the right side, the examples of Annie? Well, number one, she doesn't have any snacks. True. Number two, do you have any computers? Great. Number three, would you like some oranges? Great. Number four, I don't have any money. Perfect. Right now, we will move to the next quantifiers. We have a little and a few. Well, A little and a few are quantifiers, which means some. Okay? Why we need to use a little or a few when the quantifiers means the same as some? Well, little and few have negative meanings. We use them to mean not as much as may be expected or wished for. All right? We use a little and a few, yeah, to show negative meanings. We use them to mean we expect or wish for something in such amount, but in the reality, there is not as much as we expect or wish for. Now, I want to ask, what do you have in a few or a little right now? Let's check your bag or maybe your belongings. What do you have right now in a few or a little size? I mean, the quantity, not the size, I mean, the quantity. What do you have in a few or a little right now? Okay, a little money. Well, okay, so I'm very sad that you don't have that in large amount. Good, good. Now, let's check. How do you know? Yeah, how do we use them? Which one uh good sentence to use a little or which one to use a few? Hmm. We use a little with uncountable nouns. Yes, and we use a few with countable nouns. Okay, we use a little with uncountable nouns. We use a few with countable nouns. So the difference is in, yes, exactly, the type of the nouns. A little with uncountable, a few with countable. Okay, let's check. Here we have four examples. Number one, Julia ate a little rice. A little rice. We have rice. It means this noun is countable or uncountable. Okay, look at the explanation above. Yes, because we use a little, it means the rice is uncountable noun. What about Mike ate a few chips? Chip? Chips are countable or uncountable? Perfect. Countable because we use a few. And number three, all she wanted was a few moments on her own. A few moments. So moments are, yes, countable nouns. What about number four? She drank some tea and ate, good, a little bread. So bread is countable or uncountable? Awesome. Uncountable. Good. Now, I want to make sure that you fully understand about the difference between uncountable and countable nouns. Do you have any question about how to differ uncountable and countable nouns? Oh, you forget a little bit. That's okay. We're going to review it together. Now, I have some examples of uncountable nouns. I have tea, sugar. Okay, your turn. Please read it for me. Good. Money, research, safety, and evidence. Do you know what is evidence? Okay, cool. So, all of these are called uncountable nouns. Why? These are called uncountable nouns because they cannot be separated or counted. Okay, yes, exactly. Some of them you can count it, but we need measurements, we need tools to measure the nouns. So they are called uncountable nouns. We cannot separate tea, we cannot separate sugar one by one, we cannot separate water by drop and drop. It's really hard work. So these are only some of the examples of uncountable nouns, but you may know more and you can search it on the Google. And the next one is about countable nouns. Well, countable nouns is called as countable because they can be singular or plural and they can be counted easily. And it's easy. If you have the plural form, just like dog with dogs, horse, horses, man, a man, idea, ideas, shop, shops, and you can begin the noun with a or n or with numbers just like one, two, and so on, many, and so on, or other determiners. It means that these nouns are countable. Okay, let's check your understanding. Let's complete together the sentences with a little or a few. Number one, would you like some pasta? Just, is it a little or a few? Just blank blank, I'm not very hungry. Would you like some pasta? What is the object that we're talking about here? Pasta. Good. In your opinion, pasta is uncountable or countable? It's uncountable. Perfect. So when we have uncountable noun, we should use a good, a little. So would you like some pasta? Just a little. I'm not very hungry. What about number two? I went to the cinema with blank blank friends last night. It's easy for you. Yes, a few because the noun is friends. Yeah, friends are countable noun. What about I spent blank blank chatting with my uncle? What is the noun here? Chatting. Good. Chatting. Is it uncountable or countable noun? Good. This one is uncountable. Chatting, conversation, they are uncountable. I spent a little chatting with my uncle. Good. Number four. She bought blah blah CDs in town. CDs. Okay. Which one is the noun? Good. CDs. You think this one is uncountable or countable? Countable. Why do you know? Because there is S there. So you want to use a little or a few. Very, very good. Okay, so she bought a few CDs in town. What about number five? I only recognize blank blank people at the party. Which one is the noun here? Party? No, not that one, but the noun after the blank. People. Okay, so is people is countable or uncountable? They are countable. I only recognized a few or little, a few people at the party. Very good. Number six. She isn't a vegetarian, but she only eats blank blank meat. Now we have noun meat. Very good. In your opinion, meat is uncountable or countable? Well, meat, in your opinion, is countable? All right. So meat is uncountable. We cannot separate it. Maybe yes, by a tool, and we cannot make it one meat, two meat, three meat. Maybe some slices, yes, but if we only use the word meat, we refer it as an uncountable noun. Very good. So, but she only eats a perfect little man. Now again, it's your turn. Tell me your own examples with your own creativity. Please create some sentences. Only three for each quantifier. Give me your example. Look at around you. Look at your belonging. What do you have in a little or a few? Okay, very good. Perfect. Yes, let's read it together. There is a little water. We have a little time. There is only a little air to breathe. Okay, so the three examples for a few. Let's read it together. I have a few books. You have a few slices of bread. Number three, she will only read a few magazines. Okay, good. Okay, give applause to yourself for your hard work. All right, so we are at the end of our lesson, but before we end our lesson, We want to review again the true or false quiz at the beginning of this lesson. And let's check, is your answer true or false? Number one, we ate any bread and butter. So your answer is true before. So it should be false. So, okay, tell me, how will you correct this sentence? Yes, that's a very quick answer. We ate some bread and butter. Number two, do you have some children? Okay, so the answer is false. So you need to correct it with, do you have any children? Good. Number three, would you like some tea? First, you answered it as false. So we find out that this one is an offer, so this one is true. We can use some in the question if it is an offer. Good. Number four, I have a little money, and your answer was true. That's correct. I have a few good friends. Your answer was true. That's correct too. And remember my last question? I asked you, can we exchange, replace a little money with a few money, and then a little good friends, a few good friends with a little good friends? You say you can replace them? Okay, you change your answers now. So we cannot replace a little money with a few money, and then a few good friends with a little good friends, because we use a little for what nouns? A little for uncountable, and a few for, yes, for accountable nouns. Congratulations. So today we have learned about quantifiers together. We have discussed the definition. We have discussed how to use them. And we have discussed some examples. And even you tell me your own examples. It means you successfully can use all of these quantifiers in your conversation. Good. Before we end our lesson, as usual, I have 2 minutes of writing session. So I want you on your notebook answer these questions. What did you learn today? Yeah, all of the things that you have learned today. Write it down. And the last one, is there something new for you? Something you don't know earlier, but now, after you learn these quantifiers together with us, you realize something, you recall something, and then you know something new. Yeah, all right, guys. Thank you so much for our lesson today. Thank you for learning with me. Thank you for being very creative, being very active, being very excited to uh, discuss everything that we learned today. Thank you again for your time. This is the end of our session. Again, and thank you very much. I hope to see you again on the next week. Okay, goodbye. Have a nice day.